If you're seeing this, it means you've already been chosen by a higher law. It means something deep within you has shifted so quietly, so subtly, that the outer world is just beginning to reflect it. Money is not coming because of effort. It's not on its way because of how hard you've worked or how much you planned. It's on its way because of who you've become in consciousness. The moment you saw this, a signal was sent, not to the outside world, but to your inner reality. And that inner world is the only cause of what you see. You are not meant to chase money. You are meant to become the one who has already received it. You may not feel it in your hands yet, but it's already in your field. It's traveling through channels unseen, shaped by your inner conviction and clothed in the energy of your belief. The unseen precedes the seen. The invisible creates the visible. That is the eternal law. Do not ask when, do not ask how, simply know. Money has already been dispatched to you. Like a letter already posted with your name on it, it is finding its way. Your only task is to hold the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Feel now what you would feel if it were already here. And I tell you, that feeling is the bridge to its arrival. You are not here to hope or wish or beg. You are here to create, and creation begins with acceptance, with the assumption that what you desire is already yours. For money to find you, you must stop searching for it and start becoming the one who it naturally flows to. This is your confirmation. If you're seeing this, money is already on its way. Don't disturb the process with doubt. Don't slow it with worry. Walk in the knowing. Breathe as the person who already has it. Act as if it is normal for abundance to find you, because it is. Your thoughts are instructions. Your imagination is the blueprint. Your feeling is the magnet. You've placed the order and the universe has already confirmed it. There's nothing left to do except to dwell in the reality where it's already done. So now, relax, give thanks, smile with confidence. Because if you're seeing this, money is already on its way to you. What you believe to be true about yourself becomes your experience. This is not a poetic idea, nor is it a hopeful philosophy, it is a law. As you accept something inwardly, as you give it the dignity of truth within your consciousness, the world begins to reflect it faithfully. The outer world is not separate from you, it is the mirror of your inner convictions, your assumptions, your beliefs. Life does not respond to your words or your wishes, but to the core truths you hold about yourself in the silence of your own being. You may think you want wealth, love, peace, or success, but if your self-concept denies it, if your internal image of yourself is poor, undeserving, unworthy, or unseen, you will only attract confirmations of that. No matter how hard you work or how desperately you pray, if the belief behind your actions is one of lack or inferiority, that will shape your results. You cannot receive what you have not accepted as true about yourself. You will never rise above the concept you hold in your imagination of who you are. This is the great secret. The world is not happening to you, it is happening from you. You are the root cause. You are the source. And everything that flows into your life is simply returning to you the belief you have planted and nourished within. There is no trick, no superstition, no magic beyond this. Whatever you claim as true in your imagination, you will experience with your senses, whether in joy or sorrow. Think now the story you have been telling yourself. Do you walk through life as someone who's always behind, always missing out, always struggling? That is not the truth of who you are, but it becomes your reality if you persist in that belief. Have you told yourself that money is hard to come by, that you are invisible in love, that you are too damaged, too late, too far gone? These thoughts do not come from the world, and once believed, they must be played out in your life as experience. Your consciousness is the stage, and whatever you rehearse within it must be performed on the screen of life, no exception. The world is not selective. It does not reward the good and punish the bad. It reflects the belief. Always. That is why two people can live under the same conditions and one thrives while the other suffers. One believes they are chosen, blessed, worthy, and so life says yes. The other believes they are cursed, overlooked, forgotten, and life says yes to that too. Not because the universe has favorites, but because it has laws. To change your life, you must change your belief about yourself. You must dare to believe you are already the person you desire to become. Not someday, now, in this very moment. Even if your senses tell you otherwise, even if your bank account whispers lack, even if your relationships echo rejection. These things are not final. They are echoes of old beliefs. They are remnants of past assumptions. If you want a new experience, you must stop feeding the old story. Begin now to speak to yourself differently, not with empty affirmations, but with inner conviction. Look in the mirror of your soul and tell yourself what is true. I am wealthy, I am loved, I am powerful. I am whole, not because the world has confirmed it, but because you have. You must believe it before you see it. That is the law, as within, so without. You are never stuck, you are never helpless. You are simply experiencing what you have believed. The moment you change your belief, everything begins to rearrange. Doors open, people shift, opportunities appear. Not because they were not there before, but because your eyes were not open to them. The inner shift reveals the outer blessing. It is never about forcing the world to give you what you want. It is always about becoming the one who already has it. When you believe in your own worth, when you walk as the one who is already chosen, already successful, already loved, then life must rise to meet that belief. You are not here to chase reality. You are here to create it. And you create it not by effort or struggle, but by what you claim to be true about yourself. So if you want to change your life, start there, not outside but inside, in the secret place, in the silence. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Rest in the truth of your new identity, for what you believe to be true about yourself, quietly, faithfully, and persistently, will become your experience. Money responds to your inner state, not your effort. This truth may seem offensive to those who have been conditioned to believe that hard work alone is the path to wealth. Society often tells us that effort is everything. Wake up early, grind without rest, sacrifice sleep, and eventually you'll be rewarded. But how many people do you know who work tirelessly with all their strength and time and still find themselves struggling financially? And how many others seem to attract money with ease, with less visible struggle, yet always seem to have more than enough? The difference is not in what they do, it's in how they feel. It's in the inner state from which they act. Your relationship with money is not built by your hands, but by your mind. It is your beliefs, assumptions, and emotional tone about money that dictate how it flows into your life. If deep down you believe that money is hard to come by, then no matter how many hours you work or how many projects you start, your reality will confirm that belief. You'll find yourself in situations that mirror your inner struggle. Delays, unexpected expenses, and lack will follow you, not because you aren't trying, but because your inner state is one of scarcity. On the other hand, when a person assumes wealth as natural, as their divine right, as something that flows freely into their life, they carry an energy that attracts money like a magnet. They are not desperate. They are not anxious. Their actions may even appear simple or minimal, but the results are extraordinary. Why? Because the energy behind their actions is aligned with abundance, not lack. The universe does not respond to the action itself. It responds to the state from which the action comes. It's not that effort has no value, but effort without alignment becomes empty. You can run on a treadmill for years and never get anywhere if your thoughts are stuck in limitation. You must understand that money, like all things, responds to vibration. It responds to feeling. It responds to the state of being you embody most consistently. You don't need to chase money. You need to become the version of yourself that money is already trying to reach. When your inner world is saturated with wealth, when you feel prosperous, even if your wallet says otherwise, then you are beginning to shift reality. Money begins to show up in unexpected ways. You find yourself at the right place at the right time. The path opens. Why? Because you changed internally. You began to walk as the person who already receives money. And so life had no choice but to rearrange itself to match that. Effort born from fear, from desperation, from not enough will never lead to lasting abundance. It may produce temporary results, but they will not last. Because the core belief, the inner state, remains rooted in lack. And the law is clear. As within, so without. When you shift from I have to work hard to survive to I am already abundant, and my actions are just expressions of that truth, then you begin to operate from power, not panic. Then effort becomes joyful, not burdensome, inspired, not forced. Money doesn't come because you deserve it more than someone else. It comes because your consciousness is ready to receive it. If your inner self-image is still small, if you still see money as something outside of you, something to be earned with pain and stress, then you are holding it away from you. Money is not your enemy, it's not your master, it is your servant. And it serves the image you hold of yourself. So ask yourself, not what more you can do, but who you are being. Are you being the person who expects wealth, who welcomes it, who feels worthy of it, who believes it comes easily? Or are you being the one who doubts, who worries, who chases, but never quite catches? Your inner state is the soil, money is the fruit. You cannot reap abundance from seeds of scarcity. The most powerful shift you can make is not to increase your hustle, but to upgrade your identity. Walk as the person who already has what you desire. Speak like them, think like them, feel like them, and you will find that money begins to appear, not because of how hard you tried, but because of who you dared to become within. Money responds to your inner state, always. And when your inner world is rich, peaceful and confident, your outer world cannot help but follow. The feeling of wealth must come before the evidence of it. This is the hidden order of creation that many overlook. We are conditioned to wait for external proof before granting ourselves the internal permission to feel rich, secure, or abundant. But the truth is reversed. It is the inner acceptance, the quiet conviction that you are already wealthy, that precedes and attracts the outward signs of wealth. Life is not waiting to reward your hard work with a paycheck. It is waiting to mirror the truth you dare to hold in your imagination. When you feel poor, even in the presence of money, you will lose it. When you feel rich, even in the absence of money, it will find you. Why? Because the outer world must conform to your inner state. It cannot do otherwise. Your reality is a faithful servant of your consciousness. It is not influenced by the words you speak, but by the assumptions you carry. You can say, I am wealthy 1,000 times, but if you feel lack, worry, or fear underneath, that is the message being heard and returned. So what does it mean to feel wealthy before the evidence arrives? It means to step into the emotional state of already having. It means to abandon the waiting, the striving, the searching, and instead to rest in the knowing that it is already yours. Not someday, now, right here in this moment. You carry within you the power to become whatever you assume yourself to be. If you feel rich regardless of your current circumstances, you begin to radiate the signal of abundance, and the world must respond. This is not delusion, it is not fantasy, it is the creative law at work. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. You cannot fool life. You cannot pretend to be rich while secretly holding on to lack in your heart. It will always expose the deeper truth. That is why the inner work is everything. You must purify your inner world until your dominant feeling is one of wholeness, gratitude, and sufficiency. Then, and only then, will the outer world rearrange to reflect it. But this requires discipline. It requires you to reject the evidence of the senses and trust the evidence of your imagination. The senses may show a small bank account, unpaid bills, or lifestyle you wish to escape. but you must not bow to appearances. Appearances are just the shadows of old beliefs. They are not permanent. They are not reality. The only true reality is what you are imagining and feeling now. If you continue to feel poor, worried, or envious of others, you will continue to create more situations that echo those feelings. But if you deliberately cultivate the feeling of I have more than enough, if you begin to move through the world as if wealth is normal for you, then that feeling becomes a new seed, and seeds, when watered by faith and repetition, must grow into visible form. The key is to practice this feeling in the quiet moments, when no one is watching, when you are not being tested by the world. Imagine walking into a room knowing you can afford anything. Imagine opening your wallet and knowing it is always full. Imagine paying for something without checking your account, because abundance is your nature. Feel that deeply. Live in it, not as a dream, but as a reality already unfolding. Your mind will resist. It will remind you of the facts. It will scream, but look at the bills, look at the bank statement. But facts change. They are not eternal. Your current situation is just a reflection of past thinking. It has no power unless you give it power. The only thing that is real, the only thing that creates, is the feeling you accept as true now. So take back your power. Stop waiting for the world to give you permission to feel rich. Give it to yourself right now. Wear it like a coat. Let it influence how you walk, how you speak, how you think. The evidence will come, not because you chased it, but because you became the person who always had it. That is the secret of all manifestation. It is not a process of achieving, but of assuming. You become what you believe, and you attract what you feel. The feeling of wealth is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not fantasy, it is foundation. Build your world on that inner conviction, and life will pour into your hands the visible proof. But the proof comes last. The feeling comes first. Always. You are not waiting for money. Money is responding to your assumption. This is the profound truth hidden in plain sight, overlooked by those who believe life is a matter of chance, effort, or external conditions. The mind, when rightly used, is not a passive observer of the world, it is the cause of it. You are not sitting idly while money moves toward you at its own pace. Rather, money is moving according to the assumptions you hold, whether you are conscious of them or not. Most people believe they are waiting for a breakthrough, for a raise, for a lucky moment, or a door to open. But the truth is that life waits on you. Not with arms folded in judgment, but with infinite readiness to reflect back whatever you have accepted as true. When you assume poverty, life becomes a mirror of lack. When you assume abundance, life reorganizes itself to express that abundance. There is no delay but the one you create by clinging to your current self-concept. Assumption is not wishful thinking. It is not daydreaming or empty hope. It is a settled knowing. A quiet, unshakable conviction that what you desire is already yours. You do not beg for it, you do not chase it. You live from it, you walk in the world with the confidence of one who already possesses what they once longed for. And as surely as the sun rises, life conforms to match that inner state. This is why some people with seemingly less effort attract more wealth, while others work tirelessly with little to show for it. The difference lies not in talent or timing, but in assumption. The wealthy do not merely have money, they expect it. They do not worry where the next dollar will come from because they assume it will come. That assumption opens doors, attracts ideas, inspires action, and brings opportunities into their path. You may say, but I need the money now. How can I assume something that isn't here? That is the great paradox. To receive, you must first feel as if you already have. Your imagination is the womb of reality. What you plant there through repeated assumption and emotion must emerge into form. The moment you shift your internal state, your thoughts, your feelings, your belief, everything outside begins to move. You are not at the mercy of economy, education, or environment. You are at the mercy of your own consciousness. If you assume that money is hard to get, you will always be in situations that prove you right. If you assume that money flows to you with ease even when you don't know how, you activate a new current in your life. Money begins to respond not to effort, but to identity. It answers to who you are being on the inside. And so the work is inward. The outer action comes later and naturally. When you change your assumptions about money, when you stop seeing it as something far away, something for other people, something that is limited, you invite it in. Begin by catching your language. How do you speak about money? Do you say, I can't afford that, I never have enough, or money doesn't come easily? Those words are born of assumptions, and those assumptions become your reality. Change your assumption, and your language will follow. Begin to assume you are wealthy, supported, and always provided for. Don't look for evidence, be the evidence. Don't wait for the bank account to change before you change your self-concept. That is living in reaction. Live from cause. Be the one who knows their supply is unlimited. Walk with the feeling of already having received. Close your eyes and imagine the life you would live if money were never again a concern. Feel that life, not later, now. Speak from that life, think from that life, and most importantly, assume that life, not as a maybe, but as a fact. Because in the invisible realm of consciousness, it already is. Your only task is to bring that unseen reality into the seen through your assumption. You are not waiting. There is no delay unless you create one by doubting, questioning, or reverting to old beliefs. Money does not delay, it only mirrors. Change what you expect and you change what you experience. Assume wealth not tomorrow but today and watch how quickly life responds. Not because you forced it, but because you finally became the one money was always searching for. Imagination is the only channel through which wealth flows. It is not one of many paths, it is the path. Everything you now see, own, or experience once lived in someone's imagination. The phone in your hand, the chair beneath you, the room you're in, all of it existed first as a vision, a picture in the unseen, before it took form. Wealth is no different. It does not originate in banks, jobs, or markets. It is born in thought, molded by feeling, delivered through sustained belief. And imagination is the tool that shapes it all. You may think money comes through work, effort, hustle, or hard labor, but these are only the outer appearances, the visible effects. The real work, the creative work, happens in the mind. It is the quiet rehearsal of abundance, the vivid inner scenes where you are already living in the wealth you desire. It is not about wishing, it is about experiencing in consciousness that which has not yet appeared in time. That is the secret. Whatever you experience in your imagination with feeling and conviction must eventually express itself in your outer world. The mistake most people make is believing that imagination is fantasy, something disconnected from reality. But the truth is, imagination creates reality. It is the blueprint from which life is built. You cannot live a life of prosperity while imagining poverty. You cannot expect abundance while rehearsing scenarios of struggle in your mind. The outer world is simply a mirror reflecting the inner world, and the inner world is sculpted by imagination. So ask yourself, what do you picture when you think of money? Do you see difficulty, scarcity, and lack? Do you picture unpaid bills, rejected opportunities, or a future of just scraping by? Then do not be surprised when life delivers the same. Not because life is cruel, but because it is obedient. It must give you what you continuously imagine, especially when that imagination is mixed with emotion. To change your financial world, you must first change the images you hold inside. Begin to see yourself already in possession of wealth, not in the future, but now. Feel the weight of money in your hands, hear the sound of ease in your conversations. See yourself living the life that up until now you've only admired from a distance. The key is vividness. Make the scene in your imagination more real than the current facts. The world will try to convince you that imagination is weak, that action is all that matters, but action without vision is motion without purpose. It is running in circles. When you act from a state of fear or lack, even the most intense effort yields little. But when you move from an imagined state of wealth, your steps are guided. Opportunities appear. People are drawn to you. Ideas emerge from nowhere. Why? Because you've aligned yourself with the source of wealth, which is within, not without. The truth is, wealth is not something you acquire. It is something you become. And imagination is the furnace in which that new self is forged. When you imagine, you are not pretending, you are creating. Each time you return to the inner scene of abundance, each time you feel the joy of already having, you are impressing your subconscious with a new pattern. And once impressed, the subconscious will seek expression. It will draw to you the circumstances and people needed to bring that image to life. But you must be consistent. Imagination is a living thing. It must be fed. Not once or twice, but daily. Just as a plant needs sunlight and water, your vision needs repetition and faith. If you sow a seed and keep digging it up to check if it's growing, it will never flourish. Likewise, if you imagine wealth but constantly cancel it with doubt, fear, and reality checks, you will never see it appear. Hold to the vision, even when nothing around you seems to support it, especially then. For that is when your faith is being forged. That is when you declare to life, I believe in the power within me more than the evidence before me. And life will respond. It always does. Not on your timeline, but in perfect timing. The outer always bends to the inner, never the other way around. So make imagination your home. Go there often. Build your wealth there first. Feel it, touch it, live it in your mind until it becomes more natural than the struggle you've known. And one day, not suddenly but surely, the world will catch up. The wealth you imagined will become the wealth you possess. Not because you chased it, but because you imagined it and became it. If you've seen the sign, it's already done. Your job is to align, not chase. The moment you receive a sign, a glimpse, or even a whisper of the thing you desire, it is not a future promise. It is a present confirmation. You are not being teased by the universe. You are being shown what already exists for you in the unseen. Your job is not to beg for it, strive for it, or run after it like it's slipping away. Your only task is to align your inner world to the reality that it is already yours. What does it mean to align? It means to accept the end as done, to live in the state of already having, to think from the result, not toward it. When you chase something, you admit without realizing that you do not have it. You confess its absence by your striving, and so it stays away, because life responds not to your effort but to your being. If you are being someone who is still reaching, grasping, hoping, then you will live in that state of almost, of nearly, of not quite. But if you shift into the state of I have it already, your world will catch up. That sign you saw, that dream that stirred you, that repeating number, that name you keep hearing, that image that lit a fire inside you, it was not random. It was your future calling you back home. It was your higher self reminding you what you've already chosen on a soul level. But here's the catch. Once the vision has been seen, it's about becoming the version of yourself who already lives in that vision. And you are not trying to get rich. You are aligning with the version of you who already is. You are not trying to find love. You are aligning with the version of you who is already in that relationship. You are not trying to succeed. You are aligning with the self that is already successful. This is the sacred difference between chasing and aligning. One implies separation, the other confirms union. Chasing is exhausting. It wears you down. It makes you question, doubt, and shrink. Alignment is peaceful. It centers you. It builds quiet confidence. You begin to walk differently, talk differently, think differently, not because of what you hope will happen, but because of what you've already decided is happening. Your thoughts, words, and actions begin to mirror the outcome, not in desperation, but in certainty. You may ask, how do I align? You start by observing your inner conversation. What do you say to yourself when no one is listening? Do you speak from lack or from abundance? Do you say, I hope it comes, or I know it's mine? Do you feel anxious when you think of your desire, or do you feel grateful? Alignment feels like peace. It feels like a quiet yes echoing within your chest. It is the surrender of doubt and the acceptance of truth. It is already done. Your imagination is your greatest tool. Use it. Enter the scene where you already have what you seek. Don't watch it like a movie. Be in it. Feel the textures, hear the sounds, breathe in the moment. Allow it to become more real than your current circumstances. Visit that place often. Dwell in the fulfillment. Make it familiar. Because what is familiar to your inner world will soon become familiar in your outer one. You don't need to chase signs. You don't need to look for more proof. The fact that you saw it once is proof enough. You were given the glimpse so that you could become the one who receives it. Don't ask when or how. Those are questions of the mind. The soul already knows the answer. Now. It is already yours. There's nothing to wait for. There's only the alignment with what is already waiting for you. Alignment is not just belief, it's embodiment. Live today as if it were already true, not to fake it, but to faithfully act from it. Let your energy speak louder than your effort. Let your inner posture do the calling. The one who aligns does not beg, they trust. They move in faith, they act with grace. And because of this, they receive what others only chase. So when you see the sign, smile, don't run after it. Don't analyze it. Receive it. Honor it. And return to yourself, to the version of you who knows the way. Walk in the vibration of already having, and the world will mirror back the only thing it ever responds to, your inner assumption it's already done. Your only job is to match it. Understand this deeply. You are not waiting for wealth, for love, or for success. These things are already yours in the unseen, responding not to your effort, but to your state of being. The outer world is simply echoing back your inner assumptions, your imaginal acts, your felt truths. When you saw the sign, the vision, the glimpse, it was not a coincidence. You are the cause, you are the channel. Imagination is your power. Feeling is the secret, and assumption is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. Stop chasing, start embodying. Act not from lack, but from the end. Walk as one who knows, not one who waits. And the life you once dreamed of will become the life you wake up in. Thank you for walking this journey within. May you trust your vision, align with your truth, and receive all that is already yours. You are not a beggar in this world. You are not here to wait for permission, nor to hope someone will hand you a portion of what already belongs to you. You are not poor in spirit, unless you choose to be. For the world you see is only responding to the one thing, your inner assumption. To act as if you own everything is not arrogance, it is spiritual truth. It is remembering that the outer world is the echo, not the voice, the shadow, not the substance. What you hold internally with conviction becomes external without question. The moment you claim something within, silently, faithfully, it begins to arrange itself without. You don't need evidence, you need assumption. You don't need proof. You need belief. Ownership begins with imagination, not a transaction. So walk into the room like it's yours. Speak to life like it listens to you, because it does. Act not in response to the world, but from the place where the world is already yours. The world bends to the one who knows what they possess, not the one who waits for approval to receive it. This isn't about pretending. It's about possessing in consciousness what hasn't yet shown up in form. You are not hoping it will come. You are knowing it already has. You are not trying to make it happen. You are aligning with the version of yourself for whom it already did. Everything that is yours is already done in the unseen. The world you experience is catching up to the world you have assumed. Walk with the posture of ownership. Think with the clarity of someone who knows. Speak with the authority of one who rules their reality. You are not acting to impress others. You are acting in alignment with who you truly are. The power is within. It always has been. Life will not give you what you chase. It gives you what you claim. You are not a beggar in this world. You are not here to wait for permission, nor to hope someone will hand you a portion of what already belongs to you. You are not poor in spirit unless you choose to be. For the world you see is only responding to the one thing, your inner assumption. To act as if you own everything is not arrogance. It is spiritual truth. It is remembering that the outer world is the echo, not the voice. The shadow, not the substance. What you hold internally with conviction becomes external without question. The moment you claim something within, silently, faithfully, it begins to arrange itself without. You don't need evidence, you need assumption. You don't need proof, you need belief. Ownership begins with imagination, not a transaction. So walk into the room like it's yours. Speak to life like it listens to you, because it does. Act not in response to the world, but from the place where the world is already yours. The world bends to the one who knows what they possess, not the one who waits for approval to receive it. This isn't about pretending. It's about possessing in consciousness what hasn't yet shown up in form. You are not hoping it will come. You are knowing it already has. You are not trying to make it happen. You are aligning with the version of yourself for whom it already did. Everything that is yours is already done in the unseen. The world you experience is catching up to the world you have assumed. Walk with the posture of ownership. Think with the clarity of someone who knows. Speak with the authority of one who rules their reality. You are not acting to impress others. You are acting in alignment with who you truly are. The power is within, it always has been. Life will not give you what you chase. It gives you what you claim. What you are aware of being, you become. This is not just a poetic idea, it is the very foundation of reality. All things begin in the unseen, and that unseen is your own consciousness. You cannot possess anything in the physical world unless you first claim it within. Ownership is not a result of action, it is a result of assumption. Before anything becomes yours externally, it must be owned mentally, emotionally, spiritually. That is the law of life. Look around you. Everything you now have, every situation you are currently experiencing, is the outpicturing of what you have accepted as true within yourself, whether consciously or unconsciously you have consented to it. This is not to place blame, but to awaken you to your own power. You do not need to wait for the world to confirm your desires before you believe in them. That is living backward. You must become the one who sees the invisible and lives as though it were visible. You can only receive at the level of your awareness. If you are aware of being broke, unwanted, small, or unworthy, then you will meet a world that agrees with you, not because it is true, but because you made it true through your sustained focus. If, however, you become aware of being abundant, loved, powerful, and worthy, the world has no choice but to rearrange itself and reflect that back to you. You see, life is not happening to you, it is happening through you, and your consciousness is the architect of that unfolding. There is no ownership without first an inner claim. A person may receive money, recognition, or opportunities, but if they have not assumed the state of being prosperous, they will lose it, sabotage it, or remain in fear of it vanishing. Why? Because they never truly owned it in consciousness. They held it in their hands but not in their mind. Because one mastered the outer and the other mastered the inner. To own something in consciousness is to feel that it is already yours, to move and speak and live from that knowing. It is to sit in the stillness of your being and see yourself already in possession of the desire. It is not daydreaming, it is identification. You are not watching a version of you who has it, you are becoming that version. The moment you become it, it must become you. Many will say, I will feel successful when I see the money, or I will believe in love when I meet the right person. But this is illusion. You will see the money because you felt successful. You will meet the love because you first knew yourself as lovable. The outer is the servant, the inner is the master. And the master commands not with force, but with quiet conviction. Ownership is not loud. It doesn't beg or plead. It doesn't ask if it's worthy. Ownership assumes. It walks into the room with quiet confidence and rests in knowing. There is no desperation in it, no rush. Because the one who owns something does not doubt. The one who owns something does not wait for it to appear. They live from the end where it already has. Everything begins in the mind, every door opens from within. You are not here to chase reality, you are here to create it, and your tool is awareness, your weapon is imagination, your superpower is assumption. Own what you seek now, in thought, in feeling, in energy, and the world will obey, because it must, because consciousness is ownership. You are the operant power. Not the world, not the people around you, not chance, fate, or luck. Nothing outside of you determines your experience unless you allow it. The true creative force of your life does not lie in effort or struggle. It lies in imagination. Nothing moves unless you imagine it first. All transformation begins in the unseen, and that unseen is you. Life is not happening randomly. It is not a sequence of disconnected events. It is not a force that chooses who to favor and who to ignore. It is exact, precise, and deeply personal. It responds directly to your inner state, your assumptions, your self-concept. The way you see yourself, what you believe about who you are and what is possible for you, becomes the lens through which life expresses itself. You are the cause. The world is your effect. Most people walk through life reacting. They see, then they believe. They hear something negative and they assume it must be true. They look at their bank account, their relationships, their circumstances, and they decide what is real based on appearances. But the truth is the opposite. You must believe. Then you will see. The seen is the result of the unseen. When you imagine something with feeling, with faith, and with consistency, it begins to shape your world. You might not see it immediately, but the seed has been planted. The movement has begun. Nothing needs to shift outside of you before you assume what is already yours. And the assumption does not ask permission. It doesn't consult logic or the opinions of others. It simply declares, this is who I am now. To say you are the operant power is to accept total responsibility, not blame, but responsibility. It means you stop waiting for change and start embodying it. It means you stop hoping and start knowing. You do not wait for evidence, you become the evidence. You do not look for signs, you live as the sign. This is not about forcing outcomes. It's not about controlling others. It's about becoming aligned internally with a version of yourself that already has what you seek. If you want love, assume you are already loved. If you want success, assume you are already successful. Not one day, not when the time is right, but now. Because time is just the delay between assumption and manifestation. You get to close that gap by entering the state now. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. It doesn't matter what the world has told you. What matters is what you are imagining now. If you keep imagining lack, you'll keep living it. If you keep imagining struggle, it will persist. But the moment you dare to imagine something new and accept it as already true, you shift the entire course of your life. This is why it's not enough to simply desire. Desire without assumption is hollow. It is fantasy without creation. The power lies in assuming that what you want is already done, and you hold that assumption not with desperation but with calm confidence, because you are not creating from lack, you are creating from truth. The world around you will catch up. It always does. But don't wait for it to move first. You must move first. You must imagine, feel, and know first. That's what being the operant power means. You are not reacting to the world, you are commanding it from within. The mirror cannot smile until you do. The reflection does not change until you change. So assume wisely, imagine boldly, and above all, remember this. The power has always been yours, not outside you, not in things, but in your own beautiful, limitless creative mind. Nothing moves until you do. So move in imagination, and the world will follow. To act from the end is to live in the consciousness of your desire already being fulfilled. It is to rise in the morning not as someone who hopes for change, but as someone who knows change has already occurred. The difference is subtle, but it is everything. One lives from lack, the other lives from fulfillment. One waits for proof, the other becomes the proof. When you act from the end, you're no longer trying to make something happen. You are aligning yourself with the reality where it already has. This is the key most overlooked. They pray for what they want, speak of what they want, think about what they want, but all from the standpoint of not having it. The energy of wanting is lack. And lack cannot produce fulfillment. You cannot attract what you are separate from. You must become one with it in your imagination. You must enter into the state of the wish fulfilled and live from that inner truth as though the outer has no choice but to follow, because it doesn't. The law is certain. When you persist in a state, the world conforms. But you must persist. You cannot dip in and out of belief based on what the senses report. The senses are delayed reflections of your old assumptions. When you act from the end, you understand that your job is not to fix the mirror. It's to change the face you show to it. So what does it mean to act from the end? It means you speak, walk, think, and feel from the version of you who already has what they desire. If you are manifesting love, you carry yourself as someone deeply loved and cherished. If you are manifesting success, you speak with the authority and clarity of someone who has already achieved it. You don't wait for the world to convince you. You convince yourself and allow the world to catch up. There is no begging in this process. There is no hoping. There is only knowing. You do not need to know how it will come. You do not need to manipulate circumstances or force movement. Your task is simple. Assume the state and remain faithful to it. The bridge of incidents will unfold to bring you to that which you have already claimed within. You may be tempted to check the physical world for signs, but signs follow, they do not lead. You are the cause. What you do in imagination is more powerful than what you do in the world. So dwell in the end. Don't visit it like a guest. Live there like it's your home. Feel the relief, the gratitude, the peace of knowing it's already yours. Let that feeling be your compass, your guide, your secret inner world. Every time doubt arises, return to the end. Remind yourself that reality bends to conviction. The moment you fully accept your desire as fact in the unseen, the seen must obey. So stop striving, stop waiting, stop negotiating with life. Choose your end and live from it. Think from it. Feel from it. Rest in it. The power is not in effort. It is in assumption. An assumption fulfilled is faith in action. When you act from the end, life has no choice but to reflect your inner truth. And it always will. Your world is not fixed. It is not bound by logic or the rules you were taught. It is fluid, responsive, and deeply personal. It does not reflect your effort, it reflects your belief. What you see is not the truth. It is the echo of what you have accepted within. That is why you must detach from the visible and trust the invisible. Because the visible is only the past made manifest, while the invisible is the present power shaping your tomorrow. Most people become prisoners of their senses. They judge their progress by what they see. They let circumstances dictate their mood. They watch, wait, and worry, searching for proof that things are changing, searching for signs that their desire is near. But in doing so, they forget the truth. The outer world is always late. It cannot show you what you haven't first accepted as real in the unseen. To live by sight is to live as a victim of what was. To live by inner knowing is to walk as the creator of what will be. The invisible is where all things begin. Your imagination is the soil and belief is the seed. Whatever you nurture in that inner world, whether it be abundance, love, peace, or purpose, will eventually bloom in the visible. But only if you stop digging it up to see if it's growing. Only if you trust that the unseen is more real than what you can touch with your hands or measure with your eyes. Detachment is not indifference. It is not pretending that you don't care. It is the quiet confidence of one who knows the outcome is already secure. It is the stillness of mind that no longer chases or begs or pleads, but simply assumes and allows. You do not detach from your desire, you detach from the need to see it in order to believe it. You must stop trying to force the mirror to smile, you must smile first. The world is not against you, it is only reflecting you. And belief is the blueprint. So when you dwell in a state of knowing, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and rest in that inner truth, the world begins to rearrange itself without your effort. Not because you worked harder, but because you are lying deeper. This is why effort without belief leads to frustration. You may toil, push, and exhaust yourself, but if inwardly you are still doubting, still fearing, still wondering if it's possible, then the mirror cannot reflect your efforts. It can only reflect your state. On the other hand, a quiet, unwavering assumption can move mountains while you do nothing but trust. This is not laziness. It is mastery. The invisible is not imaginary. It is the foundation of reality. Every breakthrough, every manifestation, every shift you've ever had began with a subtle, quiet inner change. A new self-concept, a new assumption, a new feeling accepted as truth. And once you made that shift, the world moved, the path appeared, the people showed up, the door opened. And it wasn't because you forced it. It was because you believed it into being. So let the world be what it is for now. Let it reflect what it must. But don't get caught up in appearances. Don't let the noise distract you. Turn inward. Close the gap between who you are and who you desire to be by assuming they are one and the same. Walk through the day not as one waiting, but as one who has already received. And when doubt whispers, return to the invisible. Return to the state. Feel it, live in it, trust it, for the world is only the mirror, and mirrors do not lie, they simply reflect it. When the inner man changes, the outer world has no choice, it must obey. So detach from the visible, trust the invisible, and watch as belief, not effort, transforms everything. There is a vast difference between seeking and commanding. One flows from lack, the other from power. The one who seeks is pleading, chasing, looking outward for something they feel is missing. But the one who commands is resting in the knowledge that what they desire is already theirs. They are not asking life to give, they are telling life what is already true in their inner world. When you seek, you confirm that you do not yet possess. You say to the universe, I want this. And that very statement echoes your belief that you are separate from it. Seeking comes with desperation. It comes with the energy of not enough. You may dress it in spiritual words or hard work, but underneath it all is the same vibration. I don't have this. and I hope something outside of me can deliver it. But nothing outside of you can give you what you are unwilling to assume within. Life is not responding to your words, it's responding to your state. And the state of a seeker is not one of ownership, it is one of delay. The seeker waits, the seeker hopes, the seeker watches others receive and wonders why it hasn't happened yet. But the one who commands does not wait, they declare. To command is to assume full authority over your experience, not by force, not by arrogance, but by alignment. You are not begging the world to change, you are entering the state of already having what you desire and speaking from it. You are not trying to convince anyone or prove anything. You are simply living in the knowing that what you imagined is already done. This inner shift is everything, because what you accept as true inwardly must be reflected outwardly. If you feel the need to seek, ask yourself what you truly believe about your desire. Do you believe it is far away? Do you believe it is difficult? Do you believe it is for others but not for you? The one who commands doesn't entertain these doubts. They don't concern themselves with how or when. They know those questions are distractions. To command is to operate from the end. It is to declare this is mine before the world gives you any evidence. It is to assume the identity of the one who already is, who already has, who already knows. This is not fantasy. This is faith. And faith does not seek confirmation. It creates it. You don't ask the mirror to show you a different face. You change your expression and the mirror responds. In the same way, when you command a new reality from within, the world has no choice but to mirror it back. But you must hold your command with conviction. You cannot whisper it with doubt and expect it to roar with results. This is why silence is powerful. The one who truly commands often speaks little, because they do not need to explain or justify. They are not swayed by appearances or setbacks. Their word is law because it is backed by belief. And belief, when it is fully felt, is irresistible. So stop seeking, stop waiting, stop questioning whether it's possible. Begin to speak with the authority of the one who knows. Enter the state of fulfillment and dwell there. Feel the confidence, the peace, the completion of already having. From that state, let your inner voice say, it is done, not in hope, but in truth. You are not a beggar in this world. You are not here to chase what is already yours. You are the creator, the author, the cause. And creation answers to command, not loud, not forceful, but sure, calm, and unwavering. When you command, life listens. When you declare, reality responds. There is no need to search for proof. You are the proof. Speak as one who has, think as one who is, and the world will mold itself to your word, because it always does. You were not born to shrink. You were not placed in this world to apologize for your power, your knowing, your ability to command life. Yet so many walk timidly, asking life for permission, waiting for validation, hoping not to offend by simply existing fully. That is not your purpose. You are not here to beg life, you are here to shape it. And it will never be shaped by the one who doubts their own worth. To walk in power is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is remembering who you are beyond the form, beyond the name, beyond the story. It is not about boasting or proving anything to anyone. It is simply moving through life with the quiet certainty that you are the operant power. You are the cause. And you do not need to explain your becoming to anyone. Stop asking for permission to be great. Stop waiting for the world to clap before you allow yourself to rise. The applause may never come, the recognition may never arrive, but none of that is necessary. When you live from your power, you don't need the outside world to agree. You simply declare who you are, and the world adjusts to meet you there. So many dim their light because they are afraid of being misunderstood. They hold back their vision because others won't see it yet. But your power does not need to be seen to be real. It needs to be embodied, fully, boldly, without apology. You don't owe anyone a watered-down version of yourself just to make them comfortable. Your very being is divine, and divinity does not apologize for taking up space. Walk like it, speak like it, live like it, not in ego, but in truth. When you know what you carry within you, you don't pretend to be small. You don't lower your head to fit into places you've outgrown. You don't shrink your dreams to make others feel safe. Power is not loud, it is not forceful, but it is unmistakable. It walks into a room and shifts the atmosphere, not because it tries, but because it simply is. There will be moments when your power threatens others. Let it. That is not your burden to carry. You are not responsible for how others receive your truth. You are only responsible for living it with grace, with depth, with unwavering faith in who you were created to be. Do not let the world convince you to doubt what you know in your soul. Do not trade your authority for approval. Do not quiet your voice to avoid standing out. You were not made to blend in. You were made to awaken, to embody, to command, not from force, but from presence. Your mere presence, when aligned, changes things. People feel it. Situations shift around it, doors open for it, and it all begins the moment you stop apologizing for being powerful. You are not less spiritual because you are confident. You are not wrong for believing in your vision before others can see it. You are not selfish for putting yourself first, for protecting your peace, for deciding that your life is yours to shape. That is wisdom. That is power. And when you truly stand in it, something beautiful happens. Life stops resisting you, it begins to move with you. It bends to your belief, not your struggle. And you realize you never had to beg for anything. You only had to remember who you are. So walk with your shoulders back, speak your desire as law, live as though the world is already yours, because in truth it is. All things are possible to the one who believes. And you were not sent here to live halfway. You were sent to live fully, fearlessly, without apology. Own your power. It was never meant to be hidden. It was meant to lead. You were never meant to chase life. You were meant to command it. Everything you desire, everything you long for is already within you, waiting for your recognition. The moment you shift from seeking to assuming, from hoping to knowing, from apologizing to embodying, life begins to rearrange itself around your inner world. Act as if you own everything, not out of ego, but out of alignment. You are not here to earn your worth, you are here to reveal it. The world is responding to your state of being, not your effort. So walk as though it is done. Speak as though it is yours. Live as though there is nothing to prove, only everything to express. You are the operant power. What you accept as true becomes your world. And once you understand this truth, you no longer ask, chase, or wait. You assume, declare, and receive. Thank you for listening. May you rise in your power, walk in your truth, and never again doubt what has always been yours. There are dates etched in calendars, written in birth certificates, celebrated with candles and cake, but few understand what those dates truly mean. Some believe certain days are lucky, sacred, destined for greatness. They are not entirely wrong, but let me tell you the truth. They are only powerful if you say so. You see, the day you were born was no accident. It was selected by a power far greater than logic, a power that knows the beginning from the end, the hour, the minute, the season. All of it is coded with significance. Millionaires, those who rise above the crowd, are not simply born with money. They are born with awareness. They are born with a pull, a spark that whispers, "You are not meant to follow, you are meant to lead." And some, yes, some are born on powerful dates. But it's not the date itself. It's what they do with it. There are days in this world when the air is thinner and the veil is lifted, when the imagination becomes fertile ground and belief becomes immediate form. Those who are born on such days are blessed, not because the universe chose them, but because they chose to believe the date meant something. But here's what no one tells you. You can be born again, not through flesh, but through consciousness. You can decide that today, this date, this moment, is the day you were reborn into wealth, into greatness, into clarity. You can say, "I no longer live as the old self, the poor self, the fearful self. I now live as the one who was always meant to be rich, confident, and free." Do you not see? It was never about what the stars say. It was always about what you say. If you say your birth date is powerful, it becomes so. If you declare this day as your millionaire birthday, the universe has no choice but to obey the decree. Every millionaire is born twice, once by the body and once by the mind. And you are now standing at the doorway of your second birth. Choose the date, choose the identity, and watch how reality begins to kneel at your feet. Your birth date is not a coincidence. It is a divine appointment. Long before you arrived in this physical realm, your entrance was known, marked, and ordained. You did not show up randomly. You did not appear by chance. The moment you took your first breath was part of a much larger orchestration, a design invisible to most, but deeply understood by the spirit within you. There are those who believe life begins with biology, but that is only a fragment of the truth. Life begins in consciousness. And before the cells formed, before the heart beat, before the name was given, there was intention. You were born on a specific date, in a specific season, under a specific sky, because that moment carried the exact energetic signature that matched your soul's journey. This world may try to reduce you to a number, a statistic, a birthday party once a year, but you are far more than that. Your birth date is a code, a symbol, a message from the unseen. It holds rhythm and vibration, a hidden blueprint that carries the qualities you came here to embody. It is your divine timestamp, your personal portal into a life of meaning, abundance, and potential. There is no mistake in the timing of your arrival. If you were born early, it was right. If you were born late, it was perfect. You did not miss your chance, nor did you come too soon. You arrived exactly when your energy would be most aligned with the path ahead. And whether you have discovered that path yet or not does not matter. The truth remains the same. Your life is not an accident, and neither is your birth. Some days are heavy with purpose, some days are drenched in destiny. Certain dates carry a frequency so precise that they become doorways to power. Millionaires, visionaries, innovators, many of them are born on these dates, but not because the date itself contains magic. The date is a symbol of readiness, a sign that the soul who enters on that day has chosen to remember who they are and what they came to do. But do not misunderstand, this is not about astrology or superstition. This is about assumption. What you assume about your birth, you give power to. If you say, "I was born on a special day," you activate its meaning. If you declare, "My birth was no accident, I came here to shift the world," you begin to embody it. Life responds in kind. You do not need the world's validation to step into your destiny. You only need your own permission. You were sent here for something, and the date you were born is your reminder. Look at it differently. Look at it with reverence. Every time that date returns, it is a spiritual anniversary, a chance to realign with why you're here. You are not a byproduct of circumstance. You are not an echo of someone else's dream. You are original, unique, hand-picked for this moment in time. The world you were born into needs what you carry, and your birth date was chosen with that divine necessity in mind. So the next time you think of your birthday, don't reduce it to cake and candles. Think of it as your sacred signature, a divine appointment made by the infinite to place you here, now with intention. Your arrival was not late. Your purpose is not lost. Your birth was the beginning of something the world has never seen before, and it began exactly when it was supposed to. The energy of certain dates aligns with higher states of imagination and abundance. This is not poetic fantasy, it is the silent architecture of time itself. While most drift through days as if they are all the same, the awakened soul understands that time is not flat. Some days are wide open with potential. Some moments are sacred gateways, humming with energy that speaks to the soul and awakens something deeper within. These dates are not always celebrated with fanfare. Often they pass quietly to the unaware. But to the one who watches with spiritual eyes, who feels with the heart rather than the clock, these days are alive. They carry a current like an invisible wind, and those who are tuned to that current are lifted by it. They think clearer. They believe more deeply. And because of that, they create differently. Imagination is not simply daydreaming. It is the creative force of life itself. Everything you now see began in the unseen. Every invention, every movement, every fortune was once only a picture in the mind of someone who dared to believe. But not every day supports that belief equally. There are moments when your thoughts feel heavier, when your vision seems clouded, and then there are days when everything feels light, when you see possibilities everywhere, when your dreams feel just a breath away. Those days are not accidents. They are aligned with something greater. Certain dates in the calendar carry frequencies that match the higher faculties of the human spirit. These frequencies cannot be measured by science, but they are felt in the body, in the mind, in the subtle shifts of thought and feeling. On these days, the walls between the physical and the spiritual seem thinner. It becomes easier to imagine, to believe, to know beyond logic. And that knowing, that inner certainty, is what creates abundance. Abundance is not simply about money. It is a state of consciousness. It is a way of seeing the world through the lens of infinite supply. On these special dates, that lens becomes clearer. The illusions of limitation, lack, and fear begin to fade, and something deeper rises. The awareness that life is always trying to give to you. You are not separate from the source of wealth, love, or success. You are one with it. And on the right days, that truth rings louder in your heart. Millionaires, those who create extraordinary realities, may not always know this consciously, but many of them were born or made during these moments of alignment. Their decisions, their ideas, their turning points often happened on days when the energy was ripe for transformation. They didn't force the outcome, they flowed with it. They allowed themselves to be inspired, to act on vision, to trust the pull they felt inside. That is the gift of these dates. They don't make you powerful, they remind you that you already are. But you don't need to wait for these dates to appear. You can begin to observe. Begin to notice the days when your imagination feels sharper, when your heart is more open, when abundance feels natural instead of distant. Write them down, honor them, use them. On those days, dream boldly, meditate deeply, speak life into your visions, plant the seeds of new realities. The energy of these days does not make you lucky, it makes you conscious. And once you are conscious, you begin to live intentionally. You begin to create from the invisible world, knowing that what you imagine with belief must one day appear. Time is not your enemy, it is your ally. And certain days are whispering your name, inviting you to imagine more, believe greater, and live from the truth that you are already abundant. What you accept as true about your identity will manifest outwardly. That is not just a spiritual idea, it is the law of life. You are not what others say you are. You are not even what the world reflects back to you unless you accept it. The moment you claim something as true for yourself, the universe begins to arrange itself in alignment with that claim. Identity is not fixed, it is fluid, and it is powerful. It is the root from which all your actions, experiences, and realities grow. If you believe you are poor, even in the presence of opportunity, you will find lack. If you believe you are unworthy, even when love stands at your door, you will reject it. If you believe you are destined to struggle, you will walk past every open door without ever seeing it. Not because life is cruel, but because life listens to your assumptions. It mirrors your inner state. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are, and what you are is what you believe yourself to be. If you walk through the world carrying the silent belief, I am unseen, the world will reflect invisibility. If your heart whispers, I am always overlooked, life will pass you by. But the moment you say, I am worthy, and you mean it, you begin to shape a new world. One where doors open, eyes see you, and opportunities recognize your value. Identity is not found, it is chosen. Too many people spend their lives trying to discover who they are, as if it's hidden under layers of dust. But identity is not something you stumble upon, it is something you declare. And what you declare, you become. The outer world is slow, it reacts. It lags behind your inner shift, but it always responds. When you hold a new image of yourself in consciousness, when you truly accept it as who you are now, not who you might be someday, that's when everything begins to change. People treat you differently. Circumstances rearrange, not by force, but by reflection. You can't wait for the world to show you evidence of who you are. You must first know it within. That knowing is what draws the evidence to you. Just as the seed contains the full design of the tree, your inner self-concept contains the blueprint of your future. Change the seed, and the tree must change. Change your belief about who you are, and your life must follow. But there is a catch. The mind will resist. It will say, that's not true, look around, you are still the same. That voice is the echo of your old self, fighting to stay alive. But the new you is not concerned with what is. The new you lives from what must be. And if you persist in the new idea of yourself, regardless of outer appearances, you will see the shift. Begin small if you must. Tell yourself a better story. Say, I am abundant. Say, I am loved. Say, I am a magnet for opportunity. And say it not with desperation, but with authority. Own it. Not because the evidence is there, but because you are there. You, the new identity, are present now. Whatever you accept as true in your heart, not just your mind, will eventually harden into fact. Life cannot help but echo back what you deeply believe about yourself. So the question is not, what do I want? The real question is, who do I believe I am? To be wealthy, you must feel wealthy first, regardless of external evidence. This is not about pretending, it's not about lying to yourself. It is about aligning with the truth that the outer world is always a reflection of the inner world. Wealth does not begin with the bank account, it begins with the state of consciousness. You must embody the feeling of wealth. Live from it, breathe it, walk in it, before a single dollar appears. Because the money, the success, the opportunity, they all respond to your internal state, not the other way around. People wait for their circumstances to change before they change how they feel. But that is the reversal of the process. Waiting to feel abundant until you have abundance is like waiting to feel warm before stepping into the sun. The warmth is not created by the waiting, it's created by the position. If you position yourself mentally and emotionally in the state of wealth, life must reflect that state in time. The great illusion is that you must hustle, strive, and push until you earn enough to finally feel secure. But that's a trap. It keeps you running, always trying, always chasing the shadow of what you could already embody right now. The truth is, you can close your eyes, quiet your thoughts, and step into the feeling of wealth this very moment. You can remember what it feels like to have more than enough. You can carry yourself with the inner dignity of someone who knows they are supported, supplied, and richly taken care of. The universe does not respond to your effort, it responds to your frequency. And your frequency is determined by your state of being. You can say, "I want to be rich," 1,000 times and still attract lack if deep down you feel poor. But if you say nothing at all and simply walk with the quiet confidence that wealth is your natural state, everything begins to shift. You attract ideas, people, timing, and opportunities that match that feeling. But this requires faith. Not blind faith, but feeling faith. The kind that ignores what the eye sees and trusts what the soul knows. The world may show you bills, limits, delays. It may echo back struggle, but your job is not to argue with it. Your job is to remain loyal to the unseen, to hold fast to the feeling of abundance even when nothing around you confirms it. That's where the power lies. This is why the wealthy often become wealthier, not because they are better, but because they carry the vibration of wealth. They expect it, they move with it, they trust it. And that expectation becomes magnetic. You too can begin to carry that vibration, not someday, now. Begin by removing the inner dialogue of scarcity. Stop rehearsing stories of lack. Refuse to entertain the idea that wealth is distant. It is not distant. It is a state. And states are available to you in this moment. Feel yourself already provided for, not because you are tricking the universe, but because you are aligning with the truth. There is no lack in the divine source. There is no shortage of supply. You were not born to scrape by. You were born to reflect the abundance of the Creator. So every morning before you look at your circumstances, return to the feeling. Walk into your day with the energy of someone who already has. Speak with the tone of wealth. Think from the place of already being. Make decisions from abundance, not fear, and watch as the outer world slowly but surely begins to match the wealth you dare to feel within. That is the secret. Feel it first. Live from it before it shows up, because once you feel it as real, truly, deeply, it must become real. It is law. Your date of birth holds a vibration, but your assumption activates its power. Every number, every date, every moment in time carries a unique energy. Your birth date is not a random marker on the calendar. It is a spiritual signature encoded with specific patterns, tendencies, and possibilities. But the real power of it does not lie in the numbers alone. It lies in the meaning you assign to it. It is your assumption about who you are, what you were born for, and what that date signifies that either activates or silences its vibration. People search endlessly for meaning in astrology, numerology, or cosmic alignments, hoping the stars will confirm their greatness. But even the most potent alignment is powerless until it is accepted within. The universe may have given you a rare configuration, a unique birth date, a divine setup. But if you assume you are ordinary, then the magic sleeps. It is your belief that wakes it up. You were born on a day that had never existed before, and on that day the universe breathed life into you, knowing that your presence was a part of something greater, but what you do with that birth is up to you. And what unlocks your hidden power is the story you choose to live by. If you assume that your birth is sacred, your life begins to reflect that sacredness. If you assume that your presence means something, the world responds as if it does. This is not fantasy. It is spiritual law. You do not draw power from your birth date alone. You draw power from alignment, from congruence, from standing tall inside the story that you are meant for something more. And when that inner truth lines up with the vibration of your birth, the energy becomes alive. The numbers begin to speak. They guide you. They attract what you need. Not because they are magical, but because you finally are. Most people walk around carrying heavy assumptions. I'm just average. I wasn't born lucky. Nothing special ever happens to me. And they wonder why life feels stuck. The truth is, those assumptions have become their ceiling. And no amount of astrology or spiritual insight can override what they've accepted as true. You cannot receive what you do not believe you are worthy of. Your birth date holds a tone, a frequency, but it is your assumption that gives it voice. The moment you assume that your life was designed for expansion, for wealth, for purpose, you tune yourself to the frequency already built into your being. It's like switching on a light in a room that's been wired for electricity all along. The power was always there, but your belief flipped the switch. You were not born by accident. The time, the date, the season, it all carries something for you, but it waits on your recognition. You can begin right now. Close your eyes and say, I was born on purpose. Say, my birth is not a coincidence. Say, there is power in the moment I entered this world. And more than just saying it, feel it, assume it, own it. When you change your assumption, you change your experience. The world begins to rearrange around the new identity you've accepted. And what once felt hidden now feels obvious. What once felt unreachable now shows up in front of you. That's the force of assumption. It awakens the dormant power within. Your date of birth is the starting note in the song of your life, but it's your belief, your conviction, your inner agreement with destiny that gives the song its power. Let others ignore their brilliance, let them call it luck or chance, but you decide today that your birth matters. Assume the power of it. Step into it and watch as life rises up to meet you. You can be born again mentally on any date by choosing a new reality. The calendar does not hold your fate. It is not the stars that seal your destiny, but your awareness. Your decision to begin again, to step into a new concept of yourself. You are not bound by who you were yesterday, not tied to the identity others have repeated back to you. You can choose in this very moment to shed the old self and put on a new one. And when that choice is made in spirit, the entire universe responds. Most people live as if their past is glued to them, dragging behind like a heavy shadow. They believe their identity is fixed, carved in stone by time, trauma, or repetition. But the truth is, nothing is permanent unless you declare it to be. You are not your mistakes. You are not your memories. You are awareness, and awareness has the power to reimagine itself. To be born again mentally means to assume a new truth and live from it. Now, not later, not once everything changes, but now. The moment you declare, I am no longer that version of me, and you feel the truth of it, you initiate the rebirth. It may not be dramatic, it may not be seen by others right away, but inside the seed has taken root. And that inner shift is more powerful than anything the world can offer. You could have been born on a day filled with chaos, surrounded by struggle, but that is not your limitation. The real birth that defines you is the one you consciously choose. A new identity, a new story, a new state of being. And it doesn't require permission, it only requires belief. If you have lived your life feeling broken, overlooked, unworthy, let this moment be the one where that ends. Not through force, not through willpower, but through inner agreement. Close your eyes and say, I am born anew. I no longer wear the past. Say it not as wishful thinking, but as a declaration of truth. When you imagine a new self and inhabit that image with feeling, you are planting the roots of your next experience. What you consistently feel to be true becomes true. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think in a new rhythm. And though the world may try to mirror the old version of you, persist in the new. Hold your ground, let them catch up to the person you have chosen to become. Rebirth does not require applause, it requires conviction. Others may not understand your change, and that's all right. The birth is between you and the infinite. You were never meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve, to awaken, to rise. You can pick any day, today, tomorrow, or a date that feels symbolic to you, and mark it as the beginning. Let it be the day the old self died and the true self emerged. You don't need fireworks, you need awareness. A quiet, firm shift in consciousness, the kind that says, from this day forward, I am no longer who I was. I am who I choose to be. And you must live from that place, feel from that place, think from that place. The body may not catch up right away, circumstances may lag behind, but if you persist in your inner knowing, the outer must bow to it. This is your power, the ability to start again, not in time but in mind, a spiritual birth, a conscious decision to live in alignment with the version of you that already exists in the unseen. Choose it, assume it, walk in it, and you will prove to yourself that no date on the calendar holds more power than the moment you decide to be born again, in thought, in spirit, and in truth. In conclusion, you hold within you the power to transform, to redefine yourself, and to align with a reality that reflects your truest desires. Your birth date may have set the stage, but it is your assumptions, beliefs, and choices that shape your life story. You are not bound by the past, nor by the limitations others may place upon you. You are a creator of your own reality. And with each decision to live from the truth of who you truly are, you set into motion a new beginning. The process of rebirth is a continuous one. It is a mental, emotional, and spiritual renewal that can happen at any moment. Choose the reality you wish to embody and step into it with a full conviction that it is already yours. The outer world will respond to your inner transformation, and life will reflect back to you the person you are choosing to become. Thank you for allowing me to share this with you today. May you always feel empowered to create the life you desire, and remember that you are not bound by time or circumstance. You have the power to begin anew at any moment. Thank you. Close your eyes for a moment. Not to sleep, but to awaken. Shut out the outer world, for what you see before you is not the truth of you. Your circumstances may scream, they may whisper, they may taunt, but they are nothing more than echoes of a previous state of consciousness. Never bow to them. The outer world is the mirror, not the master. It does not command, you do. What you see is delayed, distorted, and already dead. Circumstances are merely the dust that settles after you've thought a thought, felt a feeling, believed a story. To keep looking at them as if they have power is to keep reliving the past. So stop giving energy to the visible. Look instead to the invisible realm, your imagination, your inner eye, your unseen world. That is where your power lies. That is the garden in which all things grow. Do not check the soil every hour to see if the seed has sprouted. Believe in the unseen rain, the invisible sun, the silent growth. When you assume something beautiful, something bold, something bigger than your current surroundings, hold it, feel it, know it. Persist in that assumption as if the world has already changed, because it has. The moment you shifted your awareness, a new path was carved through the unseen. Let your emotions be your compass. Feel your way into your desires. If you can feel loved even when alone, you're aligned. If you can feel wealthy even with nothing in your account, you've tapped into your divine creative force. Do not seek evidence with your eyes. Feel it with your soul. You are greater than your environment. You are the cause, not the effect. The world bends not to the loudest voice, but to the quietest conviction. You don't need to force or chase, just align. Align with who you really are, the one who imagines and it becomes, who feels and it forms. So when the world outside tries to pull your focus, don't look. When circumstances demand your attention, turn within. There is where your world is made. There is where your power lies. Never pay attention to your circumstances, pay attention to your consciousness. Because whatever you accept within must appear without. What you see around you is not the truth of you. It is not the essence nor the substance of your reality. It is a shadow, a residue, a reflection of thoughts long gone and beliefs long held. Circumstances are never the cause, they are the effect. And to live a life reacting to them, defending against them, or even trying to change them directly is to play in the shallows of life, while the true current flows deeper. The outer world, no matter how convincing, is delayed. It is slow-moving, echo-like. By the time you see it, it has already been shaped by the silent movements of your inner world. Your beliefs, your assumptions, your dominant thoughts, these are the true architects of the life you walk through today. So if you attempt to alter your circumstances without addressing the inner cause, you are painting over a cracked wall, only to watch it split again. People often become hypnotized by the material. They look at the bank account, the relationship, the job, the body, and they declare it reality. But what is seen is not what is. The seen is evidence of past awareness. It is the mirror reflecting not your face now, but your face from moments ago. You can break the mirror, you can argue with the image, you can paint it over, but the image remains the same until you change the one standing in front of it. Do not react to your circumstances. They are not authoritative, they hold no creative power. They are not permanent, nor are they personal. They are simply a report card from your subconscious. And when you come to understand this, you stop arguing with your life, you stop complaining, blaming, and fearing. You step back and say, this is old, this is not who I am anymore. This is not the final word. It is a grand illusion to think the world happens to you. It happens through you, by you, and because of you. And even though this responsibility may feel heavy at first, it is the key to all freedom. Because it means if the world outside is only a shadow, you can change the light that casts it. You can shift your focus, redirect your attention, alter your state of being, and the world must follow. Imagine standing in a room with multiple mirrors. One reflects your past self, one your present, and one your future. Which one do you trust? The one that shows the current reflection. That's the temptation. But the wise know to turn away from the mirror and imagine who they wish to be, to feel it so deeply that the reflection must change to meet the new state. Circumstances have no consciousness of their own. They don't think, they don't plan, they don't conspire, they obey, they yield, they mold themselves around your inner story. So if the world appears cold, you've likely accepted a belief in lack. If people ignore you, perhaps you've assumed you're not worthy of attention. If money avoids you, maybe you've assumed it's hard to come by, but none of these things are true. They are just shadows you forgot you were casting. And here's the beautiful truth. You can change the story. You can change it right now, not by working harder in the world of shadows, but by returning to the source. Go within, close your eyes to what appears, and open your imagination to what could be. Speak the words of your new identity. Feel the feelings of your new self. Walk through your day as if the unseen were already fact, because in truth, it is. The world will not change first. That is not its role. It waits, it listens, it watches your inner movements and quietly reshapes itself in response. It may take time, yes, but time is the tool of the gardener, not the enemy. Plant the seed of new belief, water it with repetition, nurture it with feeling, and soon enough the shadows will change. You were never meant to chase conditions. You were meant to command them, not with force, but with consciousness. Circumstances are shadows, not substance. Let them pass, let them fade. Turn inward, where reality begins. Your imagination is not a fantasy. It is not child's play, nor is it a passive escape from reality. It is reality's birthplace. Everything you now experience, every event, condition, relationship, was first shaped, molded, and given life in the unseen workshop of your mind. Your inner vision is the true source of power. Until you recognize this, you will continue to look outward, seeking answers where there are none. There is a quiet truth beneath the surface of life, and it is this: nothing can appear in your external world unless it is first accepted by your inner world. That picture you hold of yourself, the assumptions you quietly rehearse, the emotional atmosphere you carry, these are the architects of your experience. And yet, many ignore this power. They chase the outside, beg it to change, manipulate it, fear it, but rarely do they understand that it is only response. It's not the origin, it's the reflection. Imagination is not idle. Every time you dwell on a thought, you are planting a seed. Every time you return to a feeling, you are watering it. Every time you accept a story as true, you are preparing to live it. And the mistake most make is to imagine unconsciously, to let fear create visions of lack, to let doubt paint pictures of failure, to let past pain sculpt the shape of future days. But once you awaken to the truth, you stop letting the world guide your vision, and you begin to let your vision guide the world. You start to see that all power flows from within, that the secret to changing your life is not to force, but to see clearly, deliberately, and consistently the world you wish to live in as though it already is. What you imagine with feeling will become. That is the law. If you can hold an image of yourself as healthy, free, loved, and at peace, and do so not as a wish but as a fact, then the world must mirror that image back to you, not instantly perhaps, but inevitably. Because your inner vision is not static. It moves, it creates. It calls to it the very substance of reality and forms it around the shape of your belief. This is why you must be selective with your attention. What you focus on, you feed. If you give all your energy to what is wrong, what is missing, what is broken, you reinforce it. You anchor it. But if you take that same energy and direct it toward the unseen possibility, you create a new path for life to follow. When the outside is loud, go quiet. When the world appears chaotic, return to stillness. When doubt creeps in, close your eyes and see again. See the image of the life you choose to live. Walk in that vision. Hear the conversations you would hear if it were true. Feel the gratitude you would feel if it were already yours. And do not wait for proof. Be the proof. Carry the state of the fulfilled desire before it becomes visible. People will tell you to be realistic, but what they mean is obey the current facts. Don't dream beyond what you can see. Don't stretch the limits of the possible. But all transformation begins with the refusal to let facts define you. Facts are temporary, truth is eternal, and the truth is you are a creator. You are never a victim of what is. You are a master of what will be. So let the world be as it is. Let others chase and react and worry. Your task is different. Your work is sacred. It is inner. Go into your mind and choose. Choose your state. Choose your self-image. Choose the scene that matches your highest vision, and then live from that place. Not in pretense, but in power, because when you see it clearly enough within, the world must catch up. Your imagination is the first cause. It is the light projector, not the screen. Do not wait for the outside to change before you feel good. Feel good and the outside will rearrange. This is not hope. It is law. And it works not for the privileged few, but for all who understand and apply it. You are not powerless. You are not stuck. You are not at the mercy of anything outside of you. The world around you bends to the vision within you. So hold your image, guard it, return to it daily. Let it become your dwelling place. Because your imagination is not idle, it is the power that shapes everything you call life. Faith is not a reaction to evidence. It is the refusal to bow to appearances. When you understand this, you stop letting your current conditions dictate your belief. You no longer shrink your desire to fit your reality. Instead, you stretch your vision to fit your desire. The world will always try to pull you back into the visible, into what is real, what is practical, what is probable. But the creative life begins when you persist, not in the condition, but in the assumption. The condition is always delayed. It is a photograph of your old self, the echo of a previous state of being. And if you adjust your faith to match it, you are giving power to a world that has no power except the one you gave it. People live trapped in cycles of limitation because they continue to confirm what they see instead of assuming what they want. They treat the mirror as the cause, not the reflection. But your world is your reflection. And you do not change the reflection by staring at it longer. You change it by becoming different on the inside. The assumption is everything. It is your invisible claim, your inner decree. When you assume a new state of being loved, wealthy, healthy, confident, you step into a new reality. The assumption is not hoping, it is not trying, it is not wishing, it is acceptance. It is saying inwardly, this is who I am now, even when nothing around you seems to agree. And that is where the test lies, persistence. To persist in the assumption means you remain loyal to your inner state even when the outer world contradicts it, especially then. Because when you persist, you are reprogramming the pattern. You are refusing to loop through the old and choosing instead to create a new cause that must, by law, bring about a new effect. Many fall because they want signs too early. They say, I assumed it for a few days, but nothing changed. But the change does not come from fleeting imagination. It comes from dwelling in the new state long enough that it becomes natural to you. If you assume the feeling of being wealthy, but every time you look at your bank account, you fall back into worry, you're not persisting. You are negotiating. You are saying, I will believe once I see, but that is not how creation works. You will see once you believe. Persistence is not about forcing. It is not about strain or effort. It is quiet, calm conviction. It is the quiet repetition of, I know who I am. It is the silent refusal to entertain doubt. And when doubt comes knocking, you don't argue with it. You ignore it. You turn your attention back to your chosen state. You see it, you feel it, you live from it. There is no magic in the condition. The condition only appears because you once assumed it. The magic is in the assumption. What you assume to be true, with feeling and repetition, becomes. This is the great secret. Not to react to what is, but to respond to what you have accepted within. If you want to change your world, you must change your concept of self. Who are you in your inner world? That's the seed. Your world is just the harvest. Do not adjust your inner world to suit the outer one. That is walking in reverse. That is delaying your own transformation. Instead, let the condition do what it wants. Let the world say what it will. Your only task is to hold the assumption. Day after day, gently, confidently, even when there is no proof, especially when there is no proof. Because that space between the assumption and the manifestation is where faith lives. And faith is creative. Faith is not wishful thinking, it is spiritual substance. When you persist in the assumption, the universe reshapes itself to meet your new frequency. People, opportunities, ideas, even coincidences, they all align. Not because you chase them, but because you align with them first within. The outer world is simply catching up to your inner decisions. What your eyes see is not what is becoming, it is what has already become. The seen world is the past dressed up in form. It is memory in motion, a delayed echo of your former states of mind. This is why reacting to it is futile. It is like arguing with a shadow. The moment something becomes visible, it has already been set in motion long before. It is evidence, not cause. It is the fruit, not the seed. So many become trapped by appearances. They look at what is, and they declare it to be the truth. They say, this is my situation, this is my fate, but they are wrong. They are not seeing truth. They are seeing results. And when you treat results as truth, you deny your power to shape new outcomes. You live backward, constantly affirming the effects of old assumptions and wondering why nothing ever changes. But the unseen, that is the present moment's power. That is the creative edge of your reality. The unseen is not empty. It is full of potential. It is alive with all you have ever dared to imagine, all you have quietly believed, all you have emotionally accepted. The moment you shift within, the unseen begins its sacred work. It does not ask permission from the world. It does not require evidence or validation. It simply starts to organize reality in alignment with the new inner state. This shift is quiet. It happens in stillness. It begins the moment you say, I am no longer the version of me that matched that old condition. I am now the one who lives in fulfillment, in peace, in abundance. You don't have to speak it aloud. You don't have to convince anyone else. You only need to feel it deeply and personally, as if it were already true. That's when the unseen begins to move. The world will not shift instantly, it never does. And that is where most fall back into old assumptions. They say, I imagined, but nothing changed. What they mean is nothing visible changed. The creation does not begin in the visible. It begins in the silence. The sprout begins its growth beneath the soil, hidden from view. The first sign of transformation is always felt before it is seen. If you understand this, you stop looking for proof and start becoming the proof. You carry yourself differently. You move as one who knows. You stop reacting to circumstances because you understand they are old, they belong to a former self. You do not give them meaning. You bless them and let them pass. You look instead to your inner state, because that is what is becoming. You must live from the unseen, not toward it. That is the great reversal. You must carry the energy of the person you choose to be before the world agrees with you. You must trust the inner shift more than the outer condition. And in doing so, you take authority over your life. You stop being a prisoner of what appears, and you become a master of what will appear. The unseen is governed by law. What you assume, you become. What you persist in imagining, you will experience. This is not hopeful thinking, it is the invisible machinery of life. When you close your eyes and dwell in a scene of your desire fulfilled, you are not fantasizing. You are planting, and every seed will yield according to its kind. A thought of love produces more love. A vision of success opens the path to it. A feeling of wholeness calls forward healing. So guard your inner world. Let not the noise of the visible shake your conviction. Smile when the world tells you nothing has changed, for you know the truth. Everything has changed. The seen is past. It is slow and behind. But the unseen is immediate. It moves the moment you do. It obeys the energy of your assumption. That is where your faith must live. Not in the outer world, but in the invisible law that responds to your inner state. You are not here to watch life happen. You are here to create it. And creation begins within. When you wake up and choose to feel rich, to feel loved, to feel powerful, not as an escape, but as an inner fact, the unseen receives the command. The world will adjust, doors will open, people will appear, the story will change. But it all begins with you. The past is seen, the future is unseen, the present is the point of power. And what you do with this moment, what you accept as true of yourself now, will be made visible in time. So choose wisely, imagine boldly, and walk each day not by sight, but by vision. Because what is unseen is not far away, it is becoming. Creation begins with feeling, not with effort, not with force, not even with thought alone, but with emotion. Emotion is the fuel of creation. It is the life breathed into the image. It is the invisible spark that ignites the process of manifestation. Without feeling, imagination is weak. It is flat, lifeless. But when imagination is fused with emotion, it becomes a living thing. It becomes the cause behind the future you are stepping into. You must feel the unseen to bring it to life. You must feel rich while poor, loved while lonely, healed while still in pain. That is not delusion, it is divine logic. It is how all things are called into being. You do not wait for conditions to change before you feel something new. You feel something new and then the conditions change. This is the reversal most never make. They live as emotional moral architects designing what will be. You are always planting with your emotions. Every time you feel unworthy, unwanted, or hopeless, you plant seeds of more of the same. You water them with attention, and soon they bloom into circumstances that validate those feelings. But if you interrupt the pattern, if you stop and say, no, I choose to feel peace even now, I choose to feel worthy even here, then you begin to plant new seeds. The world will not change immediately, but beneath the surface, something shifts. The future begins to bend in your direction. This is why mere thinking is not enough. You can repeat affirmations all day, but if your emotions are in conflict with your words, it is the feeling that wins. It is the emotion that speaks the loudest. So don't just say, I am abundant. Feel what it would be like if that were true. Walk in that energy. Dwell in that feeling. Let it wash over you and become part of your inner landscape. Emotion is not weakness, it is power. It is the gateway to creation. The more vivid the feeling, the more potent the seed. If you can feel wealth so deeply that you walk with confidence, despite an empty wallet, the universe takes note. It begins rearranging itself to match your new inner world. If you can feel love so purely that you radiate warmth even in solitude, you draw to you relationships that reflect that love. You magnetize your life by the emotions you entertain. But this power must be used consciously, because the law does not judge your emotions. It only accepts them. It does not say this feeling is good or that one is bad. It simply says, as you feel, so shall it be. So you must become the guardian of your own heart. You must stop feeding fear with attention or resentment with replayed stories. Instead, pour your emotional energy into the world you wish to build. This is not pretending. Pretending is shallow. This is assuming. This is stepping into the state of your desire and feeling it as if it were already yours. It is not about escaping reality. It is about rewriting it from the inside out. Because your current reality is not the final truth. It is the echo of who you were becoming. So feel on purpose. Decide each morning how you want to feel, regardless of circumstance. Practice gratitude before you see the gift. Practice joy before the breakthrough. Practice peace before the resolution. This is the path of the Creator, not to be moved by the visible, but to be anchored in the invisible. To let your emotions build a bridge from where you are to where you are going. You are never bound by what you see around you. The situation is not your identity. The conditions are not your truth. You are not the character being pushed by life. You are the author of the experience. You are not just part of the scene. You are the consciousness creating it. Every moment you feel trapped, overwhelmed, or stuck, it is because you have forgotten your place behind the curtain. The moment you remember, the moment you reclaim the truth of your position, the scene begins to change. Life reflects you, not your surface, not your performance, but the deep script you're running in the background. If you believe yourself to be limited, the world will agree. If you see yourself as powerless, your circumstances will comply. But when you step back and realize you are not the character suffering, you are the writer of that role, the story begins to shift. The power is not in reacting to what is, but in choosing who you are in the middle of it. You are the light shining through the film. The images on the screen may be painful or joyful, dark or radiant, but they are projections. They move because the light is steady. That light is your awareness. That light is your imagination. That light cannot be diminished by the images it shines through. It remains pure, untouched, always greater than whatever scene is playing out. So when the situation looks impossible, when the world says you can't, go within. Don't fight the scene, rewrite it. Don't try to control the shadows, change the source of light. Step into the knowing that you are not your past. You are not your failures. You are not the delay, the diagnosis, the death. You are the one who can shift it all by changing your internal stance. The character cannot escape by acting harder, but the author can write a new chapter. That is what you are invited to do. Imagine the outcome. Assume the identity. Feel the relief. Step into the version of yourself who already overcame, who already rose, who already arrived. And hold that state not just once, but consistently as a new baseline. The world cannot help but respond. The situation does not define you, it reveals you. It shows you the contents of your assumptions. And that is a gift, not a sentence, because once you see it, you can change it. You don't need to fix the outside, you need to shift the script. You need to say, I no longer agree with this version of reality. You must decide who you are now and persist in being it. The scene must change when you do. It has no power to remain the same if you are no longer the same. You don't even have to move a muscle in the physical world at first. Just go within, claim the new story, own the new role. Feel the emotions of already being who you choose to be. The world is secondary. It will follow. Every great change begins in the unseen. The audience doesn't see the revision process, the silent decision, the moment the author chooses a different ending, but they feel it. They witness the transformation once it is made visible. And so will you. Your world will echo back your inner shift. No matter the circumstance, you are always greater. Not in ego, not in arrogance, but in truth. You are the source of the scene. So don't ask life to change. Change yourself, and life will mirror it. Don't plead with the picture, adjust the projector. And never forget, the moment you rise, the scene must follow. You were never meant to bow to your circumstances. You were meant to rise above them, not through struggle, but through awareness. Every outer condition is a reflection of an inner state. When you remember that, you stop reacting and you begin creating. You stop chasing change on the outside and you start becoming change on the inside. The outer world is not your master. It is your mirror. And the moment you dare to feel differently, to imagine boldly, to assume the truth of your desire, the world will reshape itself to match your vision. You are not the product of your past. You are the producer of your future. You are always greater than the situation, not because the world is weak, but because you are powerful beyond measure. All creation begins in you, with what you feel, what you persist in, what you believe to be real. So take your attention away from the noise, withdraw it from appearances, and return it to the truth within. You are the cause. You are the light. And all that you seek is already waiting for your recognition. Thank you for listening. Now go within and remember who you truly are.